Hey everybody, Mike B here. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over the helmets that I have in my helmet collection. This has been asked by so many people throughout the years, and I've been too lazy and too stubborn to do it, but I figured now is probably a good time since I've slowed my collecting way down in the past year or so on guns and anything kind of military surplus related until I get caught up with it and realize what I have and make content on it. So I'm going to start out, it's going to be sort of chronological from my oldest to newest helmets, but it's not going to be in any particular order. I'm just kind of going down my shelves. And so I have a bunch of refurbished helmets and I have a bunch in original configuration. I'll tell you if I say original, it means it hasn't been touched by me. If I say refurbished, it's been touched by myself or somebody else and restored because it was in rough shape or et cetera, et cetera. So just those little caveats. Anyway, we'll get started. I'm going to have to make a couple parts of this, I think, because there's quite a few. This is my French M15 Adrian helmet. It's an artillery badge on the front, and this thing is in my size, and this is all original. So this was like a really cool auction find a few years ago. So yeah, there's that. This is my refurbished M1916 Stahlhelm. As you can see, I did the paint job on it, and then I got a nice high quality US made liner in here. And the inside I had it restored, so that's the original paint on the inside. Very interesting. But yeah, that's the Model 16. This is a Model 1916 Italian Adrian helmet. You can tell because it doesn't have the bead right there. It's a one-piece stamped, or a two-piece rather, with the comb. But this is also welded on, it's not riveted on. I'm not going to go into too much history and details on these because I already made videos, but just to kind of show you what I mean. And this is all original as well. Another great auction find. I think I paid like 40 bucks for this. Original paint, good stuff. All right, now we're going to move on to the 1917 Stahlhelm. Now it looks the same from the outside because it absolutely is, but it's got the steel band instead of the leather band. So this is one I also restored with an ersatz chin strap. So it's got a little bit of pitting on the top. Nice reenacting helmet, but yeah, that's my Model 1917 Stahlhelm. Speaking of 1917 Stahlhelms, this is an Austro-Hungarian M17. It's all original. It has not been messed with. Maybe the pads are a reproduction. I didn't put those in. But the band is certainly original, and so is the chin strap. These are exceedingly hard to find in this condition, and I got really lucky at an auction, so this is a nice, sweet piece. And this is an all original. This is one of my holy grails, is to find a Stahlhelm, an M17 Stahlhelm or 16, or any of them for that matter, with the original shiny boiled linseed oil paint job on it in really good condition. This sat in a museum from the time it got back in 1918 or 1919, and it sat in a museum until a couple years ago. So the liner's a little bit used, a little dry rot right there. But yeah, overall, this is one of the best condition Stahlhelms I've ever seen in my life, and it's all original. So this is a definite, this is one of my favorite pieces in the collection. While we're on the topic of 1917s, this is my US M1917 helmet. This thing is an immaculate, I think it was unissued when I got it, shape. You can see, I mean, it's old, definitely, and the leather's a little dry. This thing I don't think ever left the States, which is pretty cool. Probably never left a box or a warehouse. So this is an immaculate condition one as well. Another holy grail, but these are easier to find in the States. Next, we've got the Finnish/Russian Zolberg helmet. This is painted black for civil defense. I think the liner was replaced. Devin K and I traded this years ago. And yeah, it's a pretty unique piece. You don't find a lot of these laying around anymore. Next up, we've got a Swedish model 1921-18. I don't know why that's designated that way, but anyway, this one's in really good shape. Got this a while back, and yeah, I really love this thing. It's a great addition to the collection. I really think these are cool with that crown badge in front and everything. Yeah. Next up, we've got a Spanish M1926. These are pretty hard to find, especially with the original paint on it and stuff. This one really wasn't updated during the Spanish Civil War or after. You can tell by the rivets. So yeah, it's in great shape. I really like this. Another model 1926 helmet, another Swedish helmet. This is a simplified version of the 1921-18, as you can see. Just a nice solid example. Now I've got a Czechoslovakian M1930 or VZ30 helmet. They were never issued to the Czechs, but I made videos on these. I'm pretty sure this is a Spanish Civil War used one because it looks like a Spanish liner, but who knows? Forgot to mention I had two of these bad boys. This one was definitely a Spanish Civil War used one via the paint. The other brown paint was the original factory paint from the Czechoslovakian factory. But this one had the bracket for the fascist symbol on it. So very interesting helmet. Another Spanish looking liner. Next up, we've got my Japanese Type 90. It's in great shape. It's got like a replacement chin strap on it. It's not as the original thick one. It's like that fell apart and they just put some other kind of boot lace or something on there, but still works. Anyway, it's in fantastic shape and I'm really happy to have this in the collection. Next, we've got just a plain Jane Italian M33, one of my favorite helmet designs ever. It's in pretty used shape, but the original paint's in fantastic shape. This is the original color of them. They were kind of this seafoam green. So yeah, this is in great shape. I've got another M33, as you can see the original paint's underneath. See, I told you. And that paint over that indicates Spanish Civil War use or just Spanish military use in general. So it's also got the original World War II liner left in it, which is awesome. Another great piece. I've had this for years. I know some of you are going to be jealous on this. Some of this is an original Dutch M34 in fantastic condition. Absolutely fantastic. So I love this design. It looks really goofy, but it actually is pretty effective and doesn't look too bad, actually. Another prized piece in my collection is my original size 68 M35. Double decal. It was repainted and then somehow the decals popped up from underneath the second coat of paint. A lot of history on this, but the liner is original, but I made a whole video on this. I'm not going to get into it too much, but this is a fantastic original example. Definitely a really cool piece. Here we've got a Bulgarian 1936A, an original configuration. These are extremely hard to find as most of these were updated to the 3651. So you can see the remnants of the old Bulgarian decal, and this is the original paint job. So really cool piece, really cool helmet with a lot of history to it. Even more uncommon than the Model A is the Model B in original configuration, which I managed to snag a few years ago. Absolutely beautiful example of this. Again, you can see the remnants where the Bulgarian decal was, and it's got the original paint job on it. These are the hardest to find in general, especially like this. Up next, we got the Swedish Model 37, a really simplistic and cool design that they used through like the 1990s, basically. Nice solid example right here. Next, we've got the Dutch KNIL, or East India Troops, pretty much Indonesia nowadays. Absolutely mint condition, unissued. This is a really rare helmet and very, very cool in this condition. I'm really happy. This is another lucky auction find. They didn't know what it was. I got it for really cheap. So that's a cool one too. A Romanian M39. It's the same as a Dutch 34. In fact, they were made in Holland for a long time until they sent the machinery to Romania. But this is a later war one, or one that just had the crest scraped off. But it's also in really good condition. These are super hard to find in original configuration, even in Romania. So another cool piece. Now we're getting into the 1940 kind of helmet series. This was actually, I bought this from a YouTube viewer that we made a deal on. This is a single decal Luftwaffe Quist size 66. I had to replace the liner because the liner was shot. But other than that, it's a great helmet. I think I used the original band, but I couldn't save the leather or the whatever was left of it. Anyway, absolutely stellar piece right here. And the decal is in immaculate condition. Absolutely fantastic piece to my collection. Love this. Here we've got a Portuguese model 1940 helmet. Obviously, it's got some Spanish influence, but these were used through the 1980s or 90s as well. And they're a very little known helmet, but they were used in quite a few conflicts around the world. Very interesting helmet, very hard to get. These are actually becoming increasingly hard to find. The Soviet SSH-40 steel helmet, right? This one's not World War II dated, but it's dated 48, which is about as close as you're going to get without paying a premium just for the date. Exact same thing you're going to see in a World War II helmet. So, yep, just a nice solid example, and got to have one in the collection. Next up, we've got a Swiss model 1918-40. It's a debate whether it's 40 or 43. I've always called it the 1918-40, so that's what we're going to go with. You can tell because it doesn't have the full liner band. Anyway, this has got the reversible cover on it. I just like the aesthetic of it. These didn't come out till the mid-40s, but still, as the example, I kept this one, and it's in good shape overall. Another really unique M1918-40 steel helmet. This is amazing because it's got one of those nets on it. I don't remember what they're called. They were issued, but you don't really see them that much, especially after those covers came out. But this is really cool, and it's got this guy's name written in it. Oberleutnant Weiser. So I had to keep this one for my collection. I used to sell these when they were plentiful, but I could not let this one go. This is staying in my collection. It's even got the tag right here. So, yeah, absolutely cool. Now we're going to get into M1 helmets because these came out in 1941, and I'm just going to show you a couple of what I have. I have too many of these, and then we're going to end the video because it's going to start getting too long. We'll just do part 2 at another time. So this is an original shell. It's a front seam fixed bale helmet with reproduction liner and chin straps, and I did refinish this. This was used in the film Reveille. one of many. That's why I have so many of these damn things. But this has got the original early fiber liner. I'll be making a video on that in the future, the different kind of liners, which I'll show you next. So yeah, this is my early to mid-war M1. Here's another M1. It's a front seam fixed bail as well. It's got the reproduction Saint-Clair liner in it and reproduction nice SM wholesale cover on it. So I like to keep one in South Pacific, Marine Corps configuration just for the collection for display. And I think this is a pretty cool piece. And finally, another prop that was used in Revlay, but it is, however, in original condition, or original shell. It's refurbished condition, front seam, fixed bail. And this is an original high pressure liner with a reproduction chin strap. But yeah, I just like to have the mid to late war high pressure, steel helmet. I would show you a swivel bail, but you've seen a bunch of those and you know what they look like. And I have too many M1s. This video will be super long if I go through all the ones that I have. Nice 36th hand painted decal on there. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool and I display this. It's a really nice piece. So there you go. Let me know in the comments which your favorite one was out of there. And I'll be doing a part 2 and probably have to do a part 3 and possibly a part 4 with this series. Let me know if you like this. For those of you who've been asking, I'm sorry it took so dang long, but I'm finally getting around to it and hopefully you're enjoying this. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters really quick because without them, a lot of these helmets would not be in my collection. These guys have been supporting my channel over the years so I can get cool stuff to make videos on and use physical items instead of just pictures to teach you guys about things. So I'll be putting a list of those guys at the end. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you want to consider becoming a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member, you can do that with the links below. $5 a month or more gets you to my Discord server, which these guys are on. It's a super fun time. A lot of cool information is exchanged and we just have a great time on there. So anyway, you know what to do if you want to do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you on part 2.